What's going on? I'm Sam, and today I'm on the way to pick up a Toyota Tundra. Since my current truck is pretty awful, I really need something more reliable. I wanted a Tundra originally, the Dodge Ram is what I got, but now I'll finally get what I want. I'm about 45 minutes out, so I still have a little bit more driving to go before I see this thing. Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you doing today?
Not too bad. So everything looked pretty good, and I went and bought it. I got the title signed over, and this is now my truck. It's definitely not the best deal. It's not a steal, but it wasn't a bad deal, and I really needed a truck because that Ram is about to quit on me. I'm pretty happy with it. It has this nice ladder rack and the toolbox, and it should be a pretty good truck for me. I really like the Tundras because they're more reliable than like a Dodge. The old Tacomas are a little too small and the new Tundras are too big. So I was either looking at getting a newer Tacoma or this older style Tundra. Well, I'm gonna load up Griffin in here and we're gonna take it to my buddy's house about 45 minutes away. So if it has major problems, I'll find out very quickly. You wanna try your new truck? What do you think of your new truck? What do you think of your new truck? You want to make this one dirty too? Not in my seat. Go to the back seat. No. Back seat, Griffin. Up. Are you going to make this one all hairy too, Griffin? Well, earlier I had messed with the shifter in the parking lot and it wasn't really shifting into gears that well. It was shifting, but the light wasn't changing. So I decided to shift it into neutral on this road. And then I couldn't shift out of neutral. So right now I'm stuck in reverse. I'm kind of familiar with how the shift cable works on these because the Tundra that I bought that I couldn't get driving at all, I replaced the shift cable on and it's the same year. So I can't turn it off because it won't turn back on in reverse. So I am going to try and drive it to a parking spot because I can't go that way because I can't go forward, but looks like there's some parking in the back of this place, so I'm just gonna back it up and I should be able to get under this and shift it into park. But right now I just need to get out of the way of everyone because I am stuck in reverse and this sucks. So I'm just gonna park it here. Worst case scenario, it's gonna stay here for a few hours while I figure this out. What I'm hoping is underneath, man, I wanna be able to shift. I'm gonna have to turn it off in reverse and I won't be able to turn this back on until I get it in neutral. So underneath this, oh man, I gotta put my e-brake on because, you know, parking brake. So underneath there should be the cable that hooks into the transmission shift lever. There should just be a bolt on that. I'm hoping that bolt is loose. That would be the easiest to fix, but I didn't bring any tools with me. So we'll get under here real quick and see if I can fix this. I need to be careful not to lock my keys in the car too. Leave a window cracked. Okay, let's see if we can find this shift lever. So there it is. There's the nut. Well, I don't think this is going to be as easy as I thought. What I'll do now is I'll record this lever and I'll go inside and move the shifter to see if this cable is even moving down here. Or hopefully it just got detached under the steering column, because that's just a pin. That's super easy to fix too. If the cable's broken, that's no good, but I'll find out here soon. So let me set up this camera to record and see if this is moving. There's really not much tension on this cable, which makes me think it probably actually did get disconnected underneath or broken, which I'm hoping it's not. Okay, so moment of truth. Okay, sweet. So it looks like this lever is not moving at all. I gotta take the dash apart and see if this pin came out. I have no tools. I don't know where I'm gonna get tools. I think there's actually 10mm bolts holding this together. There are 10mm bolts holding this together. I don't see any places that might have tools, no auto parts stores or anything. So I'm gonna try going across the street to see if they might have something I can use. Well, I did find a Napa about half a mile down the road. So, Griffin, you ready? We're gonna go walk over there and see if I can get some tools. You're such a good boy. You put up with all my stuff. You wanna give me your paw? I appreciate your patience, kind sir. Yeah, you're so good. We gotta get you some water soon, too. Go, 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 go. I know it's my fault that I get into these situations, but I thrive on this sort of stress and challenge. I wouldn't have it any other way, and having these sort of problems really actually makes me happy because it gives me an obstacle that I have to overcome where things usually come pretty easy to me, and even this repair probably won't be too hard. But it's really having this unexpected problem that I really like to have to overcome. And I got this truck for cheap enough. I knew there were gonna be problems. I didn't expect to have one on the way home. I found out driving it and test driving it even that it would need the brakes bled and even brake pads. So I'm about to order pads and rotors. It feels like the rotors are warped a little bit. Pads are pretty easy, but it's this kind of challenge where I'm broken down in the middle of nowhere. Luckily it's not in the middle of the night, so I should be able to find the tools I need pretty easily. But it makes my day. And I bought this truck for probably half Blue Book value, so I really didn't do too bad. So yeah, I could probably get a 9-to-5 job, possibly making more money, but doing the same thing over and over every day would start to grind on me, and I probably wouldn't be very happy. Where when I was the chief engineer at that UAV company, everything I worked on was a little different, where I'd be working on multi-rotors, the fixed wing aircraft, the ground control station. I'd have to solve the problems as I encountered them. I really liked that. The really good thing about working with Peter on his channel is every project was a little bit different, and each project would present its own challenges, and every once in a while there'd be a really big challenge we had to overcome. The video for the Navy didn't really show it, but we had a lot of problems with that turbine, to the point we almost drove down to Florida to pick up a new turbine. My job was getting the turbine to work, though Peter did definitely help with that, especially when it looked like it wasn't gonna run at all. But we were able to overcome it and get it running because it looked like it wasn't gonna start running, but I was able to crank up the amount of gas that the turbine was spooling up with, and it finally started running right. That turbine had been sitting for 4 or 5 years, I think, without being ran. We knew it was good when it stopped running. You know, we thought it would spool right up. Nope, I had to read the manual 2 or 3 times front to cover. It's a real short manual, but yeah, we finally did get it working. Well, we didn't have to go all the way to Napa, and I was able to borrow this tool set. I gave him 20 bucks just to make sure I'd come back, and I think that made him feel better. I know it would if I was loaning someone a tool. Oh, I missed a bolt. There's 4, not 3. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, so it looks like it actually came disconnected because this guy's not really moving how it should. So now I gotta take this screw out, which I don't have a screwdriver, but I'll figure that out. I needed a screwdriver, so I asked a couple local businesses and no one seemed to have one. One of them had this really weird, creepy entryway. Okay, sweet. See ya. I did find a fork and I was able to use that to loosen one screw, but not the others, so I need to find a Phillips screwdriver. I can probably go back to the place where I got the first socket set. After that, I should be able to tell what's wrong. So it's crazy how many businesses don't even have a screwdriver, but I finally found one. And I'm gonna see if I can get this thing fixed, or at least figure out what the problem is, so I know if I need to get a ride home or not. There's one more screw that I didn't even see. Here we go. Okay, now what seems to be the problem? Something literally did just pop out of here. Oh no, never mind. That's bad. I did not see it when I first watched that video, but I got down underneath it again and the shifter cable is broken where it hooks up to the transmission. Even though I never drove it, I was able to get the shift cable for my last Tundra for $60 used on eBay. Right now, the cheapest one I can find is $170, but that won't help me right now. So I found a roll of duct tape and a knife. So I think I can MacGyver this together and hopefully be able to shift once to test it and once more to drive home. Oh my gosh, it looks like it works. So I might be able to baby this home. So it looks like I'm gonna go straight home. I was wondering if after seeing my buddy, I was gonna go get my blue car and take that home or take this home. Once I get moving in this, I'll stop and return these tools and then it's straight home. Hopefully no stops, maybe for gas. But yeah, I'm gotta get in here, make sure it actually goes into drive like it looks like it is, and then have a safe ride home. So I can't get it in park, but I can get it into reverse and neutral. So I can start it in neutral, and then I should be able to get it in drive. Heck yeah! Let's go! Yeah, thank you very much. You saved my life.
No problem.
That place was really cool. I returned the tools. He gave me my 20 bucks back, and now I am gonna be on the way home. I might need to stop and get gas, but other than that, I'm gonna try just to drive straight to my place and not move it again until I fix this for real. And since I can't shift it in park, I'm not able to take the key out. I'm really not happy anymore. The shift cable's fine. Those have a plastic end that tend to break. My other one was broken. It's a common issue on these Tundras. What I'm going to do is weld on a bolt and put a metal Heim joint on, which is going to be way better than that plastic part that's on the factory cables. But where I have this problem that I'm pretty angry about is I was starting to drive it home. I'm at the gas station now, and I noticed I couldn't keep up with the cars on the highway. And anytime this car would downshift into, I think it's third, it would have had to have been third, it would start slipping. The transmission was slipping and the car would actually start slowing down even though the engine was revving up. I played around with it a lot and I could not get third to engage at all. And when I got off the highway and I was coming here, it looks like now third gear is not engaging at slow speeds as well, which from test driving it earlier and driving it around, I know for a fact it was definitely engaged. It seems like it just sprung up out of nowhere, but I kind of find that hard to believe. I'm wondering if this is a problem that just comes when the car is hot. But what I'm afraid of is that they knew about this problem and didn't mention it. And that would make me pretty mad. There's a chance it just happened because of my really bad luck. But I don't know. I'm not really jumping to conclusions yet. But if it does go away when the car's cold and only comes on when it's hot, then I know something's up. But whatever, I'm just going to get it home, and once it's home, I'm going to weld on the metal Heim joint so I don't have any problem shifting. And that's one problem fixed. I did some research, and it looks like this is another common problem. And the solution might be to disconnect my battery every 1 to 200 miles. I don't have any tools with me, but I might stop somewhere and try that. I'm hoping that I'm going to get better than the 6 to 7 miles a gallon that I'm getting in that Ram. I think most of that's from a messed up O2 sensor. Could be something else as well. The The problems I caused for myself. Well, it looks like one really good thing happened. So I went to Lowe's to try and get a cheap pair of pliers. They didn't really have one. This is definitely the least prepared I've ever been buying a car. I usually bring at least one small toolkit, but it's usually a lot more than that. It's like 3 toolkits, a jack stands, torque wrenches, a bunch of ratchets, an impact, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, as it turns out, Lowe's is right next to Aquarium Adventures, and I've been wanting to go to this place for a while. I just haven't been to this side of Columbus yet. This place is crazy. I picked up a few plants and I became a lifetime member so that I can get some discounts when I come back here. It's over an hour away from me, but I definitely know I'll be back because I really like that store. Their tanks are awesome, and it is kind of on the way to my buddy's place. Man, parking this car is a little bit of a chore too because it doesn't go into park and it has a torque converter, so you can't really put it in gear. I have to make sure I'm downhill because even the e-brake doesn't stick very well if it's too hilly. So that problem hasn't come back yet. So maybe it was a weird coincidence and the transmission won't slip again. But I don't know. That was awful. I'm just going to keep an eye out for it. I don't think there's necessarily anything I can do to prevent it. But I'm getting really tired. I'm getting kind of close to home. But I'm going to go get an energy drink so that I don't fall asleep on the road. And then I still have to drive back here to get my car. This ended up being a lot more work than I had expected it to. This truck stop's pretty cool because it actually has its own little dog park. I went home and dropped Griffin off. I came to the shop to take care of a couple things. I'm gonna go with my buddy back to Columbus to pick up my car that I left there. Then we're gonna trade the SI that he got in that other video. Is it an SI? No. For a Volkswagen something or other. What is it?
GLI.
GLI?
GLI.
GLI?
Well, no, GLS.
GLS?
It's a 1.8T.
I thought it was a GTI.
No, it's a Jetta.
Okay, something about a Jetta 4-door GLI.
GLS.
GLS. I don't even know what that is. Pretty much he's getting a turbo Jetta instead of that Civic we got a few weeks ago. And that fish tank that I installed yesterday, or I guess early this morning, is looking really good. I just fed them so there's stuff floating around, but the water cleared up and it looks amazing. I bought some plants from that aquarium store, so I still need to put these in. I'm going to put a few here, a few at my house, and maybe even a few at Peter's shop. But I don't have time to do that right now because it's getting late and we got to hustle. So, okay bud, let's go. At least I have an excuse to drive my Civic Si again. So while my buddy traded his cars, I was pretty tired, so I just slept in my Civic for a little bit. He got everything traded okay, and then we headed out. So we were going to drop his car off at my house really quick, and then both get in my car and take that to Columbus, where I'd pick up the car that I left there earlier. But that's not quite what happened. So he had just got this car, and I saw a cop starting to follow him, and he was following me. So I was just going the speed limit, maybe a couple miles above, below, depending on where we were. No more than like 3 miles over the speed limit. I didn't want to seem suspicious or anything. But after that cop followed him for probably a mile, maybe 2 miles, the cop pulled up next to him and then started looking at me, and then he got behind me. And he followed me for probably not even a half mile before he turned on the lights. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Because I didn't have plates on the Civic yet. So I pulled over right away, and my buddy pulled up next to me, and I'm like, hey, you probably got to go, because I know a lot of times cops don't like when two people pull over next to each other. So I sent him away, which I probably shouldn't have done looking back, but whatever. Last time a buddy that I was following got pulled over, and I pulled over with him, the cop made me go far away. So that's what I told him to do. Hey, you're going to have to go. He'll probably want you to get... And I just patiently waited until he finally came up to the car. Hey, how you doing?
State Police, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Pretty good. The reason I stopped you is you don't have any registration on the vehicle, no license plate, nothing in the window.
And yeah, that buddy, the guy following me, we're
I figured he was probably following you because you don't have any.
No, he just picked that car up, and now he's gonna get in this car, and we're gonna go get my car from Columbus.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and go back to my car.
Okay.
You go ahead and try and find that for me on your phone.
Yeah,
Okay?
I should have this in one
All right,
second.
sit tight. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll have this ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just wanted to reiterate, you were getting a huge break.
Yes, I really appreciate it.
I'm just giving you just a warning for the display of plates. I mean, it's not a ticket. Again,
Okay.
It's just a warning. It's just for our records.
Okay. Won't touch it until I get,
Come back tomorrow. Make
Yeah.
sure you come back tomorrow.
I
I don't want this car sitting here for,
Yeah,
like I
it will
said,
be-
2, 3, 4, 5 days because we'll tow it.
It'll be before in the day, and I'll be, everything.
Try to get to the BMV early. But right now, we're just going to hang out till your friend gets back.
Okay.
When he gets back, I'm going to make sure he's a valid driver.
Okay.
And then you can go ahead and park this,
Okay.
and we're done.
Okay.
Sound cool?
Yeah, that's... Yes,
Alright.
thank you.
Had this been a little bit earlier in the day, you might not have been so lucky. Like I said, you're getting a huge break. Make sure you get all that taken care of at the BMV. Hold over again, you might not be as lucky as you were tonight. You said your friend was just over the bridge there?
Not even over the bridge.
Okay, well have him come back so we can wrap this up.
Yeah, let me call him again. Hey, are you almost here?
No, I'm at Texas trying to add insurance. I don't want to get caught with insurance.
They can't until you're here. Can I ask him? Worried that he doesn't have insurance on that because he just bought it.
I mean, if you guys want,
Do you?
he can figure out the insurance stuff when he gets here. I said if he
Yeah,
doesn't have
he's-
insurance, just get that squared away. Again, I'm not worried about
Okay.
his title.
Okay.
He's a valid driver.
Yeah, he is.
We're good.
Okay.
He just got that car today, you said.
Yeah, I do really appreciate it. I can't say that.
You're welcome. Like I
again.
said, just make sure you get it taken care of because you probably
Yes, sir.
won't be so lucky next time. There he is.
Is that? Yeah, probably.
I think that's him. All right, I'm going to have you just go ahead and park. I mean, just don't park in a handicap
Okay.
right up here.
Like far away as possible, or not?
I mean,
Doesn't care. Don't
just
matter?
the closest spot,
Okay.
just as long as it's not a
Okay.
handicap.
Yep.
And then we'll let them know that this car is going to be out here and it's going to be gone by tomorrow.
Yes.
But like I said, if not, a 48-hour notice is going to be on it to tow.
Okay.
If it's still here after that 48 hours, it's going to get towed.
Okay.
Just so I'm upfront and honest with you. I want you to know.
And
Okay.
it won't be a problem because it will be gone by then.
Okay, good.
Sweet.
Well, go ahead and
Okay. I'm gonna.
move it to a spot over there. Also said
Yes, sir.
your buddy has some stuff in here he wants out, like cold
Oh.
medicine and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably.
Back seat, I think.
Yeah.
If you would just grab that for him.
Okay. Thank you again. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, you ready? Well, I'm awake now. That was stressful. Oh my gosh. Oh, but I got a warning and that was it. So that was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
So my ID is over a month expired, not quite 2 months, but Ohio has been saying that the ID expiration is extended until December 1st or 60 days, 90 days, I think, after the state of emergency ends, whichever comes first. And right now they're just talking about ending the state of emergency. So all the Ohio licenses are automatically extended, and technically it's not really expired. And he was giving me a really hard time about my ID being expired and the title being an Indiana title not in my name yet. So we went through a whole bunch of stuff. Eventually he was telling me I would not be able to drive that car home because I am not a licensed driver. I wanted to film this at my shop. I already took all the studio lights out of my home office, so I couldn't really film it in there. You can tell this is a different set. I'm in my garage right now because I'm actually afraid to drive to work because I haven't had that RAM for 30 days, so I still have time to get it registered. but it's not in my name yet, and my ID's still expired, and I don't want to get pulled over again. Even if I go to the DMV tomorrow and I get my license renewed, I'm not going to be able to get this Civic Si in my name yet because they have to have the physical car there since I bought it out of state. So technically, to do what they say, I have to get someone else to drive me to the DMV, get my license renewed, get all my car's registrations renewed, which again, same thing as the license, they're extended. And then I would have to take my car trailer to the Civic Si, put it on the trailer, and then take that to the DMV to get inspected. What I want to do is go out tonight and put that car on the car trailer, but I'm really afraid if they catch me, they would make my life miserable. I even made a call to our local police department just to see what they would say, and her answer was not really the best. She said the DMVs are open, you have plenty of time. You need to renew your license?
Your driver's license?
Yes, because everything...
I would not, I mean, the BMVs are all open now, so, I mean, it's up to the officer whether they want to write you or not.
I thought everything was extended 90, or up until the end of the lockdown, 90 days after that, or state of emergency.
I can't speak, so what officer wrote you the ticket?
I didn't actually get a ticket, it was just a warning.
Well, the BMVs are open, so there's no really reason why you can't go get your driver's license renewed.
Okay, I mean, I was just looking at the DMV.
So I just wouldn't drive until then because it's up to the officer's discretion at that point if they want to give you a warning or whatever.
Okay.
Which if they gave you a warning, they're basically telling you, hey, those BMVs are open, you can go get it. I mean, they are giving you a grace period,
Okay.
which is nice, but they are open back up now.
Okay,
Okay?
well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Interesting. I don't know. The DMV even released a statement that said no need to rush to get everything renewed. So I don't really know what's going on. I didn't get a ticket or anything. I just got a warning, which means, you know, they probably knew they couldn't do anything anyway. I'm not really super happy about this, and I don't want to talk too much about it. So anyway, it's pretty late. I've had an awful day. Even after I got home, I let the dogs out, and they ran right up to a skunk. I had to start yelling at about 12:30, 1 a.m. in the morning at them to stop, which I'm sure my neighbors didn't appreciate. But even though the dogs didn't really listen to me, and they were right on that skunk smelling him, they don't smell like skunk at all, which is great. I really dodged a bullet on that one. I do like problem solving. I don't like this. This isn't really problem solving. This is something a little different. I could have avoided this situation altogether by getting everything taken care of before. I had tried to go to the DMV a couple times in the last few weeks, and it was just such a crazy line and wait that I decided not to. I had some time constraints, and I really didn't want to chip out like 3 hours. It's probably only like 2 hours of the day to wait in line. So, I mean, everything was my fault. I could have avoided this. But I don't think I necessarily should have had to deal with this exactly how it happened. But whatever. I'll get everything fixed tomorrow. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. It could have been a lot worse. I could have got 5 tickets. My dogs could have been sprayed by a skunk. My Tundra could have not made it home at all. So it really wasn't the worst day, but it was not a great day. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know some parts made me pretty frustrated, but there's really nothing I can do at this point other than just go forward, get everything fixed how it should be, and put everything behind me. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get that car, because like I said, I have to take it to the DMV, but I don't want to make 2 trips to the DMV. I don't know, at least I have my camera, so if something happens, I'll get it on camera. I could end up in a jail cell tomorrow, or have all my cars impounded, who knows. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's journey. It was sure a long day. I need to get some sleep, and I'm hoping tomorrow will be a lot better. So I will see you guys in the next video. Damn.